Well, it was a dinner service made for the Brazilian market called the tobacco leaf pattern. I can't remember how many pieces were in it, but it was. So I think it sold for about £500,000. Well, it depends because a lot of the Chinese things are unusual to Western taste or Western collectors, such as you come across cricket cages, a porcelain cricket cage, or a rhinoceros horn libation cup. But they're sort of more familiar with people living in China, so I don't know if you call that unusual. But there was a very rare model of a tiger. I think there are only sort of 3 or 4 in existence, and it wasn't quite life size. It was about the size of a Labrador, but dating from the 18th century, and that was unusual and rare. Oh gosh. Well, I don't know. I suppose I love the Sung monochromes. A really lovely celadon. You can get really beautiful sort of celadon, kind of almost bluey green monochrome bottle vases. I think they're very beautiful and simple, and I think the glazes are amazing, and they're very difficult to attain those sort of colours. And also they're hundreds and hundreds of years old, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Well, I'm very lucky. We've got some wallpaper, Chinese wallpaper, 18th century wallpaper, which I love actually, and it's put up in our dining room, and it looks stunning, and so I see it a lot, and we use it regularly. So I don't have to worry about it getting broken. Well, I think now, I mean, the Chinese have got very good at making fakes and reproductions. I mean, they've always sort of done sort of copies and things, but now they can be quite hard to tell the difference. But I think there are some which, to the trained eye, aren't fakes. I mean, are fakes, but they're the trained eye can tell them relatively easily. But there are still some unscrupulous dealers who will sell them, or even people who will buy them because they know they can sell them on, pretending because they've got the rain mark, and they can deceive the sort of more naive buyer. Okay. And so they can still fetch quite a lot of money, even though they're not real, and they shouldn't really be fetching those sort of prices.
Interesting.
Well, I think it goes to do with the rapid expansion of the middle classes in China and Asia, and their economy is still growing, so much faster compared to the West. So I think it's much to do with the sort of cash burning in their pockets, so they can afford it, and also due to the Cultural Revolution and so on, they lost a lot of their decent Chinese art and works of art and lost appreciation of it. And so that's, in the last 30, 40 years, 30 years particularly, has come back. In Asia, I think they really love the Qing later pieces. They're sort of quite brightly coloured, polychrome, family rose pieces, and they love anything that has an imperial mark, those sort of things. So the Western and Asian taste can be quite different.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yes, good point. So it can, and also the internet, I think, I suppose that applies to across all fields. But so now you have, most regional auction houses have photographs of all their pieces, all their items for sale on the internet worldwide. People around the world can look at these, and some of the rich people employ people to scan them 24 hours a day. And so it's very difficult sometimes to even get a bid in, and things that are good quality can go way up. But I think if you have a trained eye and you can go to an auction house, you can often find something that's been overlooked. Also, if you're not too fussed about condition, if something has been broken but well restored, you can still buy a really lovely piece. Its value will be so much diminished because it's not perfect. I think that Asian buyers particularly love something that's perfect, in perfect condition, and so the value is sort of 10 times out of something that's imperfect. So you can still buy something that was originally a lovely piece, but if you don't mind that it's being broken and has been well restored, it could be just a simple crack or a simple chip that has even been glued back in and well disguised. You can still enjoy its beauty. It may not be the best, as good an investment as something that's in perfect condition, but due to the nature of porcelain in particular, it is, it does break over time. So as long as you don't break it anymore, just try and keep it in good condition. You never know.
Of course, that's good.
No, well, I think also the other thing that Western people or non-Asian can buy, which isn't competing with the Chinese market, are things that have been entombed or burial goods, such as you get those Tang figures and horses and camels and things like that. I mean, obviously they're good quality. They do still go for a lot of money because there's some very rich Western people. But for the Chinese buyer, that's quite, it's bad luck or inauspicious to buy something that's been in a grave. But Western people don't seem to mind it.